Hello everyone, what's up? Welcome to another stream. I hope you guys are having a good start of the week. It's already the 12th of August already. So it was another ranging day in the dollar. However, hopefully that's going to start changing with the news that are starting to come up this week, right? So this week is a CPI week. It's going to be on Wednesday. Tomorrow we have PPI, so PPI is going to be first, and CPI can already be a little bit of some indication, maybe what you can expect. And then it's going to be a week full of UK news. Like we have unemployment, we have CPI, we have GDP, and then eventually even retail sales as well on Friday. So maybe the pound pairs are going to be the ones to pay attention to this week. Yeah, that's going to be interesting. So we have been recovering all the way since that sell-off that we had previous Friday during the NFP, then on Monday, the big sell-off that happened in the morning. We have been recovering since then, right? And we have been recovering on the basically on the N pairs, on the dollar, on the indices, crypto, and so on. So let's see if we're finally going to resume a little bit the direction of the previous weeks, or if this is actually now a move that's going to start being bullish from here. So that's going to be the key. Yeah, the key point for this week. Basically, I'm going to be looking to see what happened whenever price gets into this level. Because I do believe that we're going to have that move down. So I am expecting that on the dollar, and eventually a little bit to the upside on the euro and so on. And the question mark is going to be what's going to happen in here. If price actually respects and moves to the upside, or if we are going to just resume the move to the downside. Like again, as you can see, there's nothing new on the dollar. It kept respecting just these levels in here. It looked like it was about to go up. It didn't, just move down. Now it looks like it was about to go down. It's kind of pausing a little bit in here. So this level in here is still important, and you do have that level as well. Now we did manage to break that high, as I mentioned, and noticing or seeing if these lows are actually broken in here. That can be a little bit open, a bit space towards there, and then you're looking for price to fill basically this level in here. So that's a little bit of what you're going to be looking for on the dollar index, and that can be an opportunity eventually to look for in here. Now if you want to actually be precise, I do believe that this well, yeah, so if you want to be precise, that demand zone, this one here, actually it was already broken to downside, so that may have been already one of the clues that perhaps price does want to actually go down. All right, and by going down, I don't mean breaking the walls, I just mean getting into this structure in there. That's where we are going to look for first and foremost on the dollar, and then we'll see if price does want actually to carry on moving to downside. Again, higher time frame, I'm still a bit more bearish, even though, as I mentioned several times as well, we did react from a good level on the left side on that day. So we'll see. And then to the upside, yes, we do have that range in there. So again, we are lacking direction at this point on the dollar. It's indecisive a little bit in here. The clues that we have is that are those. We slightly broke a little bit in here, but even though this for me is the structure that matters, so even if we manage to break a little bit at low, price can just still respect this level in here and continue to push higher. And if you do manage to break below that level, if you do manage to break below that level in here, then you're looking for price to at least go somewhere in there, right? And then you'll see somewhere in there. So that's dollar. That's what we're going to be looking for. US indices, they'll continue to move a little bit more to the upside. So we created a new high in here, but as you can see, it's compressing quite a lot. It's not really managing to gain momentum, and the S&P is already basically really getting really close to that level, and Nasdaq a little bit closer to that level in there. So you can see how compressed this move is at this point. Now we do have that structure. That's the one that matters at this point, is this structure in here. This is the level that has been managing to hold price to the upside. So price can even break new low in there, or basically create a new low from this level in here, and can still respect this level and go higher without meaning that price wants to go lower. Now, if price does break below that level, then you're looking for potentially price to go here, right? So basically, this move that happened in here on the indices, on crypto as well, and so on, this is what is still missing on the dollar index at this point. All right, so that's what I would like to see, and I want to see. And the question mark is, what's going to happen? Is dollar index going to react exactly the same way and push to the upside after after moving and retracing towards this level, or eventually it's going to actually just break these lows in there? So that's exactly, this is the move that I want to see on the dollar index eventually, before even continue to move higher. Now the indices, yes, the indices, we do have a little bit of this structure, and then you have that one as well, and that's basically the key zone in here that I'm going to be paying attention to on the indices. That's the one at this point. All right, so we can still have a little bit more of a new high. Again, even out this value in here now is compressed, as you can see. Price went up, reacted already from this month zone, reacted from the supply, now it's ranging a little bit in here. Yes, at this point I would like it to see actually going slightly, creating actually a new high, because everything in here now has been taken. So yep, just create at least a new high, take liquidity at least from that level before even trying to go lower. That would be nice to see, and getting a little bit maybe closer to this level. Okay, so I was initially looking actually in there and then in there, so that's a little bit on the levels on the S&P that I'll be looking for. Nasdaq, yeah, Nasdaq got really close, so it retested those highs. It never managed to break them, at least not on the server I was looking for. Yeah, we never really managed to break slight above the structure, and the zone that I was looking for is still that one. Now we do manage to compress quite a lot, as you can see, but you keep respecting the lows, so not yet any move to downside, but it's definitely something to pay attention. You can see our price is slowing down, not really managing to carry on to the upsides or gaining momentum to the upside at this point. So we will see again, price can even fake out one more time this level in here, and it can just react from here and just push to the upside. Okay, so that can happen in this case. If price doesn't really respect that level, which is basically the level that I'm mostly looking at, then you are looking for price to fill this in there. All right, so that will be then the scenario. Again, similar to S&P, Nasdaq already made this move in here. It may have left some orders behind in here, so that's just something to bear in mind. Even this one in there as well, something to look at as well. But generally, I'm just looking to see how price may react from here. Are we going to actually gain momentum, for example, or is price slowly starting to move like that? All right, so that's something to bear in mind in here on the indices. Once again, reacted perfectly from those lows, so that's what we have in here. Yeah, so then we have Dow Jones, similar, still has maybe a little bit more room to the upside in there. Yeah, at this point completely far away from any level that it's interesting to me. And DAX as well, but it just continued to compress. I do like the compression again. DAX may be close to potential also turn. Again, you do have maybe this level in here that is still fresh, something in there. Maybe can fake out that low, and maybe if it gets closer a bit more into this level in there, perhaps then you can have the turn, and at least maybe that move or that move into here. So that's going to be interesting. Our price may just continue to go higher, but if it continues to move in this type of compression, we are getting closer to potential turn in here. Yeah, nice with the compression. Again, actually already managed to break slightly these first lows. Yeah, so we'll see what's going to happen in here on the DAX, but you may get closer to a turn in there. All right. Crypto, right? So crypto, yeah, BTC kind of paused in there, so it's reacting from around this structure, which is basically the one that managed to break below that low. It's all this, right? Basically all this is the structure and that's basically where price is already reacting from the lower edge of that zone. Can even go, of course, closer to the upper extreme. This point is respecting, then you had this level in there as well, so basically that's the next structure in there that we had. That's where Bitcoin now is trading at this point. It's going to be quite similar as well to the rest of the indices and so on. After we had this correction, is price going to again gain momentum again and start moving to the downside, or is actually going to hold and challenge the highs one more time? Right, that's basically what you're going to be looking in here. At this point, it's a bit in the middle, does need a little bit more of direction as well. It is breaking some structure, so we will see. At the highs in here, definitely this level in here, does it touch it? Maybe I haven't really touched it yet, so that can be interesting. Otherwise, slightly higher than those highs. Ethereum, I think Ethereum may be close to fake out these highs in there, and I'm curious to see how price may react a little bit more closer to this structure. So that's a little bit of the next level that I'm looking for. At this point, reacted quite nicely several times already from this level in here. But I would actually like to see Ethereum faking out these highs, and after that we may have a potential turn. Now we already managed to break below those lows, so that's something to bear in mind in here, right? So something like that could actually be quite interesting on Ethereum in here. So let it go slightly higher, maybe react somewhere in here or in there, and yeah, if you manage to break below underneath this structure again, then you have the trade. Bear in mind that this may already be actually an engulf to the downside in there. Maybe price just reacted from that zone in here, but you did manage to break below that structure, so that's an interesting one on Ethereum to pay attention to. So somewhere from there or in here, price could definitely fake out this level and push lower after that. Yep, it could do that. Savannah is also starting to turn a little bit, so after reacting from that zone, it's basically the same level as BTC. Like, it's the one that managed to break below that low, that structure in there. Savannah basically reacted the same way, the same structure in there, and now it's actually managing to break slightly that level. This level here matters as well. Well, let's see. Otherwise, we can start moving downside. At the highs, there's definitely this level in here, and there's maybe even the extreme in there as well. That price can retest one more time. The indices, Euro Index, right? So we mentioned that basically everything in here was taken, and maximum it was an extreme in there, and that's basically where it reacted. And at this point, yes, we'll see what's going to happen. Basically, after that level a little bit in there, but it's creating quite a few highs in here. Yeah, good question mark. You could fake out these highs. Higher time frame. Yeah. Maybe this level in here is still fresh. Maybe that's where the Euro Index wants to go before moving down. Maybe taking out these highs from here. And actually react precisely from the supply. Is that something that it wants? Maybe, and then move down and maybe get into there. Or if it starts going higher, then you're looking towards there, right? There's maybe this level in here still above that high. That can actually be quite interesting, to be honest. Price taking this high in there, reacting from this zone. So that's actually a really nice zone that price left behind. So that's something to bear in mind in here on the Euro Index. But we do have those two levels now, right? So basically those are the two zones to pay attention to in here. So one need to be in there, and then the other one maybe a little bit in here, and then the extreme a bit more to the upside. So those are three levels in there that the Euro Index can react from. And then the Yen Index finally, right, as you can see, it finally reacted from that small demand zone that we've been waiting for days now. So when price starting to move in here and creating these lows, we mentioned that there was this small demand zone that was fresh, that will never touch it, and that was something that you wanted to see, right? So initially price was in there, then it even took the lows but never really got there, and now today finally reacted from there, right? So it was a nice approach towards that level, and then it turned. So question mark now, what's going to happen around this level in here. Because now we have this demand zone behind. Now price is basically now retesting this previous structure. So we'll see. Yeah, so curious to see now how price may react from here, if it holds and starts moving higher, or if it just breaks, right? But could hold. It could hold. Breaking below that, breaking below this level, then you are looking for price to go much further down, and it could even go all the way somewhere in here. Bear in mind that we still have this level as well that is fresh in here, so that's still there for price to go towards to. So you can even do something like that, for example. But now I'm curious to see this demand zone, if it holds or not. How the N pairs, they moved exactly the same way. Well, the N index reacted perfectly from where we were looking for. Most of the N pairs actually was looking slightly higher before it moved to downside, as you'll see in a bit. Alright, so moving into the individual currency pairs. Alright, so there you go. It's basically the same thing with the dollar. Again, you did manage to break the level, as you mentioned. Curious to see how price may react from here, so we can fake out these highs in there. And then just curious to see how price may react, as I mentioned. And kept respecting these lows. Otherwise, we do have that level as well, right? So if I'm expecting eventually dollar index to go closer to that low, and potentially that demand zone that is there, that's basically the same level in here on euro dollar. Okay, so that's going to be something to pay attention to, that I'm expecting eventually this euro dollar to either in there or get in there before deciding if it actually wants to move down from here, or eventually takes the highs. Again, on the euro dollar, you managed to take this important structure. That for me is actually still an engulf to the upside, even though it was a perfect level to look for a reaction, because I do think that euro dollar could still get closer to those highs in there. So overall, I'm still a bit more bullish on the euro dollar, but we could actually go all the way, get closer to this level before continue to move higher. So that's something also to bear in mind in here. So yeah, we need a bit more direction in here as well. It's trying to go higher, but we still have a few zones in here that price can eventually respect. And if it starts breaking in here, for example, yeah, for example, this one could actually have a little bit of a, even though it's basically all spiked already on the way up. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see tomorrow morning maybe what's going to happen in there. Okay, that was the opening. Okay. Now, pound there, the pound pairs, right? And starting with the pound dollar, which is going to be one of the most important ones because we do have a lot of news in here. Like, and what's going on in here is that we are looking eventually, or considering that this may be the low for now, the bottom. Now, we do have still this level in there. So price, if it wants to still fake out that level, for example, and still respect something in here, it still can. We can maybe still, for one last time, perhaps fake out this low before attempting to go higher. Something also that I mentioned is, if you do break above this level, then I'm looking for price to go all the way and start getting closer to that level as well. So this one is already a break over high. So all of a sudden then you have almost all of this compressed in there and price could go higher, right? At this point, it's basically respecting this left shoulder in there. So there are a few levels in here. So I'm looking for potential price can also react from here still. This level is still left behind. We have this a little bit of liquidity in there. We could react from there. But we do have maybe also this level in here at the extreme also left behind. So this price, when it went up to the upside, it just starts respecting the upper edge of this level. Never really got closer into here. That's a little bit of a zone 2 type of a move that you can look for in here. Even this low never really reacted from there as well. So that's something to bear in mind, or then just reacting from here as well. So yes, we do have this level. We may have perhaps in there or in here. If price breaks above this high, then I'm looking for the pound dollar to get at least into here. That level is still fresh in there. And if price does want to go even slightly lower, you can even go below that low into the other level that I mentioned. It will be in there. So this is going to be interesting. So tomorrow morning we are going to have straight away unemployment. So we'll see if that's going to create some volatility in here. And then it's going to be full of news as well throughout the week with CPI. So we're going to have actually CPI in the UK first, and then in the afternoon CPI in the US, and then GDP, and then retail sales. So we may finally move away from this level. Let's see if we're going to go higher again. Price can move quite quickly in here, all right, and that's usually, it can be the news also that can help that, because most of this move is compressed. Aside from here, almost all of it has been compressed on the way down. So if price does want to move to the upside, that could happen quite quickly with some news. But before that, we may retest a little bit this level in here first, or in there as well, or as I mentioned, that extreme. So that's something to bear in mind in here. So yeah, that's the pound dollar. We go into the euro pound, which is also quite interesting. It keeps respecting this level underneath in here, start breaking slightly new lows as well in there. So now it's reacting from this level, but in the bigger picture, it also took basically an important low in there. And we still have this extreme. In my opinion, I think there's still good orders in there that we can look for sales, right? I think that this opportunity, this level, these highs are still valid to look for sales, and can even go all the way to the extreme. To be honest, it doesn't even need to just stay in here, even though this level is still maybe okay as well. The way price just dropped from here, it may have left orders behind as well, so price can have some reaction from here. But even at the extreme in there, I think that there are still orders as well, something that eventually we can even aim for, again, for that big sell opportunity as well. Again, we are reacting from this level. It's not a bad level, and you have also this left shoulder in there, so you could actually test a little bit more into this structure as well in here, especially if price just goes. I would love to see price actually retracing straight away instead of continuing to move down and then in the future, right? So I would prefer actually if price could go there first before making this attempt to go down. So that will be something interesting to see. So that will mean that we need basically a weak pound to see the price moving in here to the upside in there. So, and that will mean that if this one goes up, then pound dollar needs to go down first, and that will be a little bit of the scenario that we could look for. So yeah, euro pound definitely something to pay attention to as well this week. And then we have the Aussie dollar and the Aussie pairs. I want these ones to be taken. I think that there's going to be some news as well overnight in Australia, so that can lead to something. We already have a small break to the downside in there. Now we are compressing quite a lot on the Aussie, right? We eventually can feel that level, but we are also reacting from a little bit in the middle of nowhere, which means that price can actually just continue to go higher until it finds a little bit of a better level to eventually reverse from here. So yeah, we'll see. Do have that zone in there, which would be just slightly above this level. I think eventually could go even higher. A lot of this is compressed, as you can see. It's not exactly a big structure in there. Maybe there was this demand zone at the end. I don't really like anything in particular in here on the Aussie. No, we did create now this double top, so we could fake out that level and perhaps moving like this. If that's the PI that we can get from here, maybe then you can look for sales and correcting a little bit more to the side. Otherwise, I'll just let price continue until, I don't know, until it eventually gets closer to those highs in there. So that's something on the Aussie. So I still need to wait a little bit more. On New Zealand as well, that's another one. So it's reacting nicely from this level. It's creating also this structure in there. And I'm compressing a little bit in here, and I'm looking for actually New Zealand to go slightly higher to actually feel this compression, or finish to feel the compression and get into this next level in there. That's a little bit more of where I'm looking for on New Zealand. So yeah, we'll see. Above that level, then it's a bit compressed. So somewhere in here, maybe there's a little bit of a gap in there. It's quite nice. So let it compress a little bit more. Even if it breaks a new low, fantastic. So it makes it even easier then for price to turn and maybe challenge a little bit these lows in there as well. So that's a little bit on New Zealand as well. So being a bit more patient, waiting for price actually to get there. But at least on New Zealand, you do have this level that kind of stands out to me. On the Aussie, I don't really see anything at this point. So I'll let actually just for PA to start showing some some weakness. Euro Aussie just continues to also to be in here, so I want to see actually this level in here being faked out. At this point we kind of have an attempt to go higher slightly, but we are still within this level. Eventually we can target that zone, so that's potentially long in there, but personally I do want to see this lows being taken first. Maybe reacting from this level and then pushing higher. In the bigger picture can even be a bigger turn, which means that price actually can take these lows first and then do this. So that actually can be even a better scenario if you do want to turn or kind of continue to move lower from this level. This will basically needs to be taken. Pound Aussie, that's another one that's going to be quite interesting. So there's maybe this level, but in particular maybe something in there that could lead for another continuation to downside. Now Pound Aussie is reacting from this demand zone in there, so it's a valid level. To be honest, it's a valid target from this move to the downside. It's the level that actually managed to break out the structure, eventually even that high as well. So it's a good level, it's a really good level where Pound Aussie is reacting, which means that we could look for potential longs from here. Now, similar to Euro Aussie, basically created all these lows in here in the environment, and I would love to see these guys being faked out before aiming to look for a long in there. So that's something that I would actually like to see happening on the Pound Aussie. And let's see with the pound news as well. So it may create that move, and then somewhere in there or even in here a little bit can have a reaction. If not, then price starts to challenge a bit more to the upside. But first, yes, I would like to see a little bit of a move down first. Even on the lower time frame doesn't really stand out anything in there, but on the higher time frame, yes, it's a valid level in here where price is reacting. Maybe we can even go there. So we'll see on the Pound Aussie, but it's another one going to be quite interesting. Yeah, so it's going to be quite interesting to look for, because we may have then just a small reaction and then continuation to fill all this space in there. Doesn't really need to go all the way up. So yes, we do have a little bit of this level, but maybe that level could even be better. Yeah, so it's going to be interesting as well on Aussie. And then Aussie yen, right? So when you start looking at these yen pairs, so we had that structure basically being created in here, and we finally managed to fake out slightly that level. That's exactly the same move on the yen index. Sorry. Now price reacted almost from the same level of supply in there on the across all the yen pairs. It was basically this level, basically created at the same time. That's maybe also the same time that created the demand zone on the yen index. So as you can see, basically 1st of August around 6:30 p.m. In this time, it's basically 4 p.m. 4:30 in the UK. Now I was looking for price to go slightly higher, to be honest. So that's where actually I was looking for price to go a bit more closer to. It was in there to look for a short. Now the approach is nice, and eventually you can have that turn on the yen pairs, which is going to be quite interesting in here. So yeah, that's the level. That's where I'm looking a bit more. So that's going to be my key level to pay attention to. Now we may have some reaction here at this point, so that's something that can happen. We'll see. Yep, we'll see in there. So Aussie yen, sorry, yen, dollar yen, same thing. So price kind of just fake out that level, and I was looking for price to still get closer to that supply level in there. Now we created this double top, as we mentioned. Prices already took the orders from that demand zone, basically took the orders from the that zone as well. So it's compressing. It's a really nice compression. Maybe there's still something in there. So that's one of the levels that's maybe still fresh at this point in here that price can bounce from. Yep. So we will see. And then there's the other level in there. So yes, I would like it to create just one more high, and then it's free to move. So that's still on my radar. That's still the level on the dollar yen that I want to look for. just staying patient, see price going there again. Yes, you may have something in there, you may have something in here to look for, so that's something to be aware, and price may even just continue to move forward from here. Yeah, euro yen, same thing. Like again, reacted exactly from that same supply in there. It was around the same time, right? 6:30, something like that on the 1st of August. And I was looking for price actually to go slightly higher, and eventually euro yen. I even would like to see it going somewhere closer to there. Actually take everything in here and push before moving to the downside. But this value is quite nice as well, so something in here to be great to see this euro yen to react from. Now we had all this liquidity, as you can see, price again, nice little move in there. We do have still this level that is still fresh. Price also reacted from that demand zone, so that's already taken in here. So price is compressing quite nicely, and eventually you can have that move to retest at least closer to this level on the yen pairs. But again, still, I would love to see a little bit more of a move in here before a move to the downside. So yeah, I'm still going to, I'm going to follow. I'm aware that price may just react from here as well and go, so I'm going to be following the PI on the 1 time frame. Potentially look for a sell in here, even though my priority to still be to wait for price to get slightly higher. But I like the approach. The approach looks really good on the majority of the yen pairs. Now euro yen, as I mentioned, this value is still fresh. Dollar yen already reacted from the upper edge, but the lower edge is still fresh. Right, so that's one of the first targets that eventually you can look for when price does turn in here. It's going to be one of these ones around this level on the yen pairs. So that's something to pay attention to. On the end, same situation, right? So yep, same situation, same kind of liquidity created a little bit in that level. Again, this level is still fresh, so that's one of the differences at this point. And yes, price can definitely respect that level in there. Again, we're going to have news on the pound in the UK in the next few days, so this pound yen can be one of the yen pairs that's going to be more volatile this week. So bear that in mind. And yeah, this level is actually quite interesting, to be honest. If price doesn't go above this level, then you're looking in there. But for now, yeah, for now it does look nice. And price opposite to the other yen pairs on pound yen, I don't really need to see a new high to be created, to be honest. I think I could see price reacting from here and just dropping and going and filling out this price and get closer to this level in there. So that would be a little bit more of my taking here on pound yen. The level is okay. Price doesn't really need to create a new high in there. Yeah, so maybe overnight with the news, we may retrace back to this level, and then you may have a new sell opportunity. Dollar CAD, yep, still within the same range, doesn't really move in here. Again, I still want to see price going slightly lower, maybe somewhere in there would be a better scenario, a better level to see price eventually retracing a bit to the upside. So yeah, I didn't even delete that level. Yeah, this level could look nice, to be honest. In here, even though again it's not my favorite, price compressed quite a lot on the way up, so it's not exactly clean or fresh. Yeah, let it compress, let it continue, go a little bit more, take these lows, and then you'll see what's going to happen afterwards. Yeah, we'll see. Euro CAD, it starts to move slightly higher in here again, similar. Also reacted nicely from that demand zone, so start breaking this level in there. And I was looking if it could go slightly lower again. It created all this range in here, kept respecting this low. Yeah, I'm just going to continue to wait a little bit more again. Eventually could retrace, could have a little bit of retracement to the upside. Now, the particular situation with the euro CAD is that price compressed a lot on the way down. As you can see, basically every single supply level almost has been taken on the way down. What that means is that then eventually price will have to go all the way until it finds a valid level to move down again. All right, so that's something to pay attention in here, because we may be getting closer to potential nice move, at least close to this level in there on the euro card, right? So price is reacting from this demand zone on the 4-hour time frame. Could go lower, yes, could retest a bit more into that level. We'll see. Yeah, we'll see, but a lot of this is compressed, so that could be an interesting long on the euro card after all that move to downside. It should go similar to the pound card as well, right? So pound card reacted perfectly from that level and it continues to move higher. Similar to the pound dollar, we may have still this move in here or that level in there that is still fresh, so we can definitely still fake out these lows, react from something in here. All right, so one of these two levels, somewhere in there or a bit more into the extreme in here. So fake out that level and then push to the upside. All right, it's nice actually that we managed to create that high in there. So then eventually we could target that level in here. So that's something to pay attention on the pound card, if that's the idea. Otherwise, if price starts breaking below that level, then you go all the way and actually can go which way all the way. Yeah, you can even target these walls all of a sudden. Yep, so we'll see. Yeah, euro card, pound card, sorry, it does look nice for a potential zone in here. It will be similar to the euro pound if the euro pound kind of retraces to the highs and then moves down. So we are looking initially for a weakness on the pound to then gain momentum to the upside, right? So it could happen, but news tomorrow morning with unemployment, then eventually price still managed to hold in here, and then with the CPI the day after it could push. So we'll see in this particular scenario. And now we do have still that demand zone in there as well. Dollar franc Swiss, all right, this is the one, right? So that was the opportunity for today that we had. Price was slowing, moving to the upside. We talked about it. Good compression, good move, starting breaking lows, compression, and where it got to? It got to that level. Like again, it's just being patient in this case, and price slowly went there and reacted perfectly from that level. It was around the US Open. That was the setup of today. The April setup, it was actually this one. That's the one that we were looking for. In here, the indices as well, but the indices never really got there. So it was just the dollar franc Swiss. Beautiful move, and start turning, right? So reacts one time, goes down, reacts, respects it, and then moves downside, right? So there are a few potential entries in here, and then we even managed to break below that low as well, confirm, and then price will trace a bit and just continue, and kept respecting this level. And now we have a clear target. Basically, it's just the other extreme of the compression. But since these levels in here already were broken, already managed to break that low before, so we can even look for a potential target further down. Now price may bounce a little bit in here before making that move, so potentially there's a new opportunity to sell in there, so that's something to bear in mind as well. On dollar franc Swiss, again, price just pause in there. Maybe there's even the retest of that level could still work in there, so that's something to look for. Yeah, but that was definitely the opportunity of the day. So it took a while, it took a few days in here on dollar franc Swiss to eventually move all the way into this zone, but really nice move. Right? And again, similar to the indices, similar to the rest, after that reaction last Monday, 1 week ago, now we are approaching a nice level that we can maybe start pushing lower again. If price by any chance still wants to go slightly higher, then you are looking for, yeah, then you are looking a bit maybe closer to that level in there. Gold is about to break all-time highs, so it's retesting now the supply level. It looks like it has a lot of momentum. We talked about gold yesterday, like there was no breaks of lows at this point. Price was still respecting everything, and it continues to do so. Like it continues to do so, and you may be getting closer to new all-time highs on gold. And again, I wouldn't be surprised if that will be the case. As you can see, basically price still managed to respect that low, so I wouldn't be surprised. Maybe there's a little bit of a reaction from here, but aside from that, anytime we are closer to all-time highs, we need always to be concerned or a bit more conservative in the approach to look for reversals. We need to actually wait for confirmation. Yeah, so that's gold in here. So we'll see if we do have new all-time highs being created or not. Again, price already reacted from that extreme, so there's not really much going on in here. At the highs that can hold price, this may be one of the last levels, to be honest. It's basically where price is reacting now. Yeah, prices, maybe there's an initial reaction here, but then price can go. Silver is also moving to the upside after the reaction from there. So initially had a good reaction from this zone underneath in here. This value supply with initial reaction, but just reacted from something in there, and now it's moving higher, and I think it can continue to move slightly higher. Again, the low was quite good, so it reacted perfectly from that level, and you can start challenging a bit more these levels in here. So let's see how price may react from there, and then can start even challenging a bit more into those highs in there. So that's a little bit on silver as well to look for. And the other commodity, basically commodities like kind of moving quite strongly. We have oil, which also made out this big push to the upside. So on the daily time frame, it's a really big candle in here, and we are really getting closer now to this next level in there. So basically, we feel out this compression now. Really nice move after that reaction from there as well. So just moving higher, no breaks of lows, so no reason to even attempt any sell. But maybe now we can have a little bit of a correction after such a big move, and we'll see. Then, of course, maybe some reaction from around this level, just to correct a little bit, even just to react from that level, and then you are targeting the next zones in there. So we have this structure in there. Yeah, so let it go, let it still continue. Let it still continue to move more to the upside. It's still holding price. So yeah, that's one to start paying attention, to follow. Eventually we're going to have at least some retracement. And that's going to be the opportunity to look for, and that can happen tomorrow as well. So yeah, literally I'm going to be looking for some weakness on oil to look for that correction. Now we do have this demand zone, basically the demand zone that managed to break that level. So if you're looking for any actually trend continuation setup, maybe this can be quite interesting in here. So maybe let price create a new high somehow in there, and then maybe could create some PI and just react from here and push higher. So that could be one of the trend continuation setups in here on oil to look for, something to bear in mind. Then we also have Brent, which is basically doing almost the same thing. So Brent still has a bit more room to the upside in there. Yeah, so we'll see what's going to happen. Again, nice reaction from that level as well, which can still be potential continuation setup. Like somewhere in here or in there, and it should be a good continuation setup. Yeah, so it still has a little bit more room to the upside comparing with WTI. Yeah, so that's it. So yeah, oil I'm going to follow to see some initial retracement. We can target one of these previous highs or that level in there. Euro, I'm not really going to touch it until I see price getting closer to one of the levels. Same thing a little bit with the dollar index. Aussie, if it fake outs the highs, then maybe something. Actually, I don't really like Aussie. I prefer New Zealand in that sense. Unless you have Euro Aussie or Pound Aussie that actually fake out the lows and then something in there. it's going to be mostly about pound pairs for tomorrow. All right, so I'm going to be curious to see where price is going to be after the unemployment data, and there is that potential. Like if price starts moving lower, if we had that retracement closer to these lows on pound dollar and pound CAD as well, and to the upside on the euro pound, then I'm going to be looking for longs on the pound, which means short on euro pound. But that's something to bear in mind. The indices as well, we are getting really close to an important level. I think we have been compressing quite a lot, and tomorrow we may have sell straight away from the London Open. That's something to bear in mind. Dollar front is already turning. Again, if it retraces a bit more back towards this level, can be another potential sell. Dollar CAD and the CAD pairs at this point, they're quite rangy. So we'll see. I wanted a new low there before anything else. And the end pairs as well. The end pairs are going to be quite interesting if you're going to have that a bit more of a retracement or move one extra leg up before the move to the downside. Especially, for example, dollar yen, which is definitely a great level that I'm going to be looking for in there. Yeah, so that's it, guys. Thank you. Let me know in the comments if you got value from here and what levels are you looking for tomorrow. That's it. I'll see you tomorrow. Thank you. Bye bye.